one of the most anticipated matchups of the entire regular season. Two national championship contenders, each ranked in the top 5. Which side can step up and deliver on this big stage? Welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and LSU Death Valley, home of the Bayou Bengals. As we'll see a playoff team from last year, the Clemson Tigers, taking on a playoff team from last year, the LSU Tigers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler here with Kirk Herbstreit. Let's get this thing underway. Kick it off to get this season underway. You can feel the excitement here. And he'll lead the kickoff right there. They'll start from the 25. Davidson. They tackle him right at the 35-yard line. Fans around the country got their eyes on this matchup, but this is going to be fun. It doesn't happen often enough in college football, an early season collision of top 5 teams.
Yeah, you love to see a test early in the year for the players and the coaches because you find out all that work you put in the summer. You think you got a good football team, and now you get a chance to go up against one of the top teams in the country. I'm just glad we're here to witness it.
Just underway, and this home crowd is fired up and ready to make a difference today. He stopped just short of that first down marker, inches away from it.
Now that one didn't go anywhere. They're lucky he even made it back to the line of scrimmage. That one looked bad from the start.
So here we go now, 3rd and inches on this opening drive. Looking downfield, it's Rayner. Finds that big tight end for a short pass. And he's down right there, but it's enough for a first down.
That's exactly what you want to see here from this offense. A big 3rd down conversion. Offensive line did their job, giving the quarterback enough time. Great read, good execution, throws the ball accurately. Now you got some momentum going here on this opening drive.
And he goes nowhere. Stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Chris, this is what I love to see from a defense is the linebackers are scraping, doing their job, but you need help from the secondary. And when you have aggressive tacklers on the back end, you got a great defense. This time, the secondary makes the difference.
Offense behind the 6 now on 2nd and 11 after the 1-yard loss. 2nd down, we're going to throw it. Lets it go quickly. Finds a man downfield. That's a big gain to the right. What a sag by the senior.
This is why this Clemson offense is so tough to defend. You get caught up in the running game, the threat of the quarterback as a potential run threat. You leave yourself one-on-one, and then you can make these throws downfield to dynamic playmakers on the perimeter.
And they'll keep it on the ground. Running back has the handoff. Tackle made at the 26-yard line. This offense getting closer to the red zone.
Man, this is exactly how you want to start an opening drive on the road for this offense. Really well-blocked play, pick up some nice yardage. And if you're this offensive line, It's exactly what you talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control of things up front, especially early in this game. They give their running back plenty of room to run.
The Tigers come up to the line in a hurry-up.
Well, that was definitely not what they had in mind, but look at this. Here comes the tempo again, undeterred by the tackle for a loss.
That's reeled in. It's Brown. They bring him down quickly, a short pitch and catch to get a little bit closer to the marker.
Anytime you have a chance to get this wide receiver isolated, to get the ball in his hands, you do it.
It's early, but this crowd is fired up. Listen to this noise here. This is going to be tough for the visitors today. Caught over the middle. It's Brown. They tackle him at the 3, but that's a great gain on the pitch and catch.
Well, it's third down. The defense knows he's going to get the ball. You still can't stop the quarterback finding this receiver to be able to pick up another first down for this offense.
And he fights in for the score. Touchdown, Clemson.
You talk about the right way to get a game started. This offense put together a nice scheme. They felt comfortable with the script, and they moved the ball all the way down the field. 10 plays, and they get a touchdown. If you're the defensive coordinator, you're back to the drawing board trying to figure this out.
And it's 7-0 after the PAT. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. And it comes out of the 25. No return attempted there. Trying to flex the ground game here. Running back takes the handoff. They'll tackle him right at the 31.
Great offenses are able to stay ahead of the chains, and runs like that on first down are exactly what I'm talking about. Now you have a lot that you can call here on this second down.
A gain makes it 2nd and medium. Caught behind the line. It's Cooper. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play.
Boy, a wide receiver screen can be hit or miss. Either receiver finds a nice crease and picks up big yards, or the defense completely negates that. The team speed from the defense here wins that play.
That's good for a first down near the 40.
I love how the back didn't really dance around trying to make a big play. He knew it was third down in inches, lower the shoulder, get the first down.
LSU getting set with a 1st and 10 coming up. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. The pass rush closing in. Able to get the pass away, but took a hit that time.
Well, the pass rush does a good job of chasing him out of the pocket. He's trying to buy some time looking downfield, and he better be careful being too patient. He gets hit as he throws his football, and it falls incomplete.
So 2nd down after the incompletion. From the gun, he looks for an open man. Fires it to the wideout. Grab down the middle. It's Hill. Tackle made after a huge gain all the way to the 40.
Well, how about that? Another LSU wide receiver makes a big-time catch for the Tigers offense. Just a couple names to throw out. How about OBJ? How about Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, who right now arguably two of the top receivers in the NFL, all from LSU. And watching this young man right here, he's hoping he's next in line.
They make the stop, but a big play, lose the ball to the red zone. Big guys up front lined up. It's first down. So Clemson has the lead here, Kirk, as we head to the quarter break. Let's check out the stats now through the opening period. Back at it to start the quarter. Offense getting set to run a first down play. From the shotgun, handoff inside. They test the middle of the defense, but get nothing.
Well, that's an excellent effort here by this defense, staying in their run fits. They're holding their own to the line and making the tackle. The offense just couldn't get enough of a push to get anything going there.
Getting set. Here's second down. From the shotgun, drops back. That's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact. No flag. Brings up third down.
What a hit there by the defender. Tough for the receiver to hold on to the football when he has that kind of contact. Good, clean play by the defense.
Quarterback checks the defensive look, makes some adjustments. Catch made on the right side. Powering through. You can't reach the goal line. They tackle him inside the 5.
Boy, how about the read here by this quarterback to find his open man and keep this drive moving. Great conversion. And when you're in the red zone, you got to think about getting a touchdown. You want to come away with 6 points, and now they've got a shot to get it.
Keep it on the ground on first and goal. Couldn't quite get there. Brought down at the 2. It's a second and goal play for the offense. And they're trying to punch it in here. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, LSU. Well, they slowed the game down with a long, grinding drive to produce a touchdown. That was impressive.
What's impressive to me is the consistency. You know, it's one thing to hit a receiver and you can score a big touchdown, but to be able to go and sustain drives and keep the sticks moving, that puts a lot on the quarterback and the execution of the offense. And man, did they make that look easy.
And the PAT is good. The PAT ties the game here in the second quarter now. We've got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. And from deep in the end zone, he'll bring it out. He stopped at the 20, trying to make something happen. That's good coverage there. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. Remember last time they scored a touchdown. Can they keep clicking here? Or swarm to the pass rush. And the Tigers will come to the line to run the hurry up.
Well, you talk about blowing a play up. What a job by this defense. That is a big-time loss from the sack. But look at the offense. They're keeping the tempo going. I'm surprised.
And this crowd coming to life here, trying to help the defense get a stop with the offense pinned back. Now in third and very long, looking to throw. Looking for a man deep down the left side. And it's hauled in. What a catch. And they'll bring him down, but this offense creates a huge chunk play.
What a pitch and catch by the quarterback and receiver for a big gain for this offense.
Clemson getting set with a 1st and 10 now. Takes the toss, heads to his right. First down and more. He's still running. They bring him down to the 25. They're moving closer and closer to the red zone.
So you're a defensive coordinator trying to stop this offense. Your eyes are in the backfield worried about that quarterback, if he's going to run it or throw it. You got to worry about the receivers getting downfield and making big plays. And now, oh, by the way, You got a program that has great history at the running back spot. Guys like, think about it, Travis Etienne and C.J. Spiller, the backs they have here now on this roster. Boy, just so many different combinations and ways to attack them.
The offense will now quickly spend a timeout. Clemson now operating in the red zone. Looking to pass. It's Rayner. Grab behind the line. It's Moore. They'll actually lose yardage after the catch. The defense all over in that time.
Well, it's a game of matchups. Always has been and it always will be, especially on the perimeter. And the quarterback believes his guy is better than their guy.
Dropping back. We're going to throw for the first down. And that catch is hauled in. Tackle is made, but the gain sets the offense up. First and goal from the 9. The clock has stopped, and we've reached the 2-minute timeout before halftime. The Tigers line up with a first and goal. First and goal, handoff. Area brought down at the 4. Offense in great scoring position here.
A pretty good push up front here by this offense line to get some positive yards here. You wonder if they're going to be able to run it in, or they're going to have to spread this defense out and try to find a one-on-one matchup to put the ball through the air for the touchdown.
Second and goal for the offense. And now they'll run it on the draw. Couldn't quite get in, but they're knocking on the door at the 1.
Well, they came very close to punching that one in, and now third down and goal. And if I'm the OC, I challenge my offensive line in that back. I just slam it right back into that A-gap and try to overpower that defensive front.
Try to convert with a sweep. Motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Chris, that's what I love about this quarterback. It's a great touchdown, but he shows you his versatility. We know he can throw it, but here he shows you his speed and how he can make the defense pay for that as well.
Hold on here a second. The replay booth has signaled they want to take another look at this one. So after taking a closer look, the officials will overturn that previous ruling. They could take the lead with a chip shot, but the coach is thinking touchdown here on fourth down. Looking to throw. It's Rayner. But it's incomplete. The defense makes a huge fourth down stop.
Chris, the design of this play is perfect. Everything you want to see. The quarterback puts the ball on the money. The ball's right in his arms. All he has to do is catch it for a touchdown, and he drops it on fourth down.
So here we go. First play of the drive, under 2 minutes before halftime. That wasn't alert enough. Didn't get the play off. That'll cost him 5 yards. Pretty easy call for the head coach. He will accept that penalty, of course. All right, so it's 1st and 10 back inside the 5-yard line. We're going to see how much this play caller trusts his quarterback. How aggressive will he be from this spot? Looks like the QB is changing the play at the line. Takes the handoff. It's Barry. And he's able to find some running room. Nice pickup.
What a great job to be able to establish some rhythm to an offense. When you can run the football like this, it just opens up the playbook. You can continue to run. You can go to play action. But really keep the defense on their heels when you can run the ball like this. Nice play.
Ball is handed off out of the shotgun. They stop him, but it's a first down.
Setting the tone early with good runs like this can really wear defense down and keep the defense guessing. That's why some of the best coaches of all time have primarily done it with great run games.
That run, good for a first down. The offense still rolling. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. With the catch, it's Barry. Tackle made him to play at the 29-yard line. LSU getting set with a 1st and 10 now. And he drops back in the gun. Makes the grab. It's Barry. Gets out of bounds after a solid game.
That's what I love about this guy. He has the ability to sneak out of the backfield. The quarterback's able to find him open, checks it down for a nice gain.
Fresh set of downs for the offense. First down. Wants to throw it. He's running out of time here. Pump over the middle. It's Cooper. And a quick timeout call by the offense after the play.
Quarterback looks downfield to make this throw. He wants to be able to get the ball to be able to pick up enough yards for a first down. But instead, he gets the ball at least underneath to the drag route and gets some positive yards.
Second down play coming up for this offense. And the quarterback looking to make a play through the air. Oh, it's picked off. What a play. Oh, he's bringing it back. He goes down, but they'll have a chance here now just before halftime.
He didn't really seem to feel like he had anybody open. He just puts it up in the air, and the defense says, thank you, we'll take it.
So they start the drive here looking to make something happen in the final seconds before halftime. To the air, it's Rayner. And he's going to take a shot down the left side. And it's incomplete with just 2 seconds remaining.
The offense takes a big shot here downfield. I thought they may have a chance, but the defender makes an unbelievable play to get a hand on the ball and knock it away.
Looks like the final play of the half coming up. Defense calls their 3rd and final timeout of the half now.
Timeout, LSU.
Offense getting set. Second down play here. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. Running out of time in the pocket. And the pass falls incomplete. No time left on the first half clock. And that will do it for the first half here. Kevin Connors now has our halftime update. Getting set to kick the ball off now. And he'll lead the kickoff right there. We'll start from the 25. And that Bayou Bengals offense is back out on the field. They're looking for some points to jump on top here as we get the third quarter going. Grab down the middle. It's Cooper. That'll pick up a first down and spot it at the 38.
That's an excellent throw by the quarterback, finding that window between the zones and delivering the ball on time.
The drive stays alive with that completion for a first down. Here's the snap, looking to throw here. The sure hands. It's Anderson.
It's an easy completion for the quarterback, finding his receiver just dragging underneath coverage.
Second down play coming up. Quarterback making some changes at the line. Looking to pass here on second down. Looking for his big tight end. Caught over the middle. It's Green. He made the stop, but it's a big play for 31.
Boy, It's great to see this quarterback from LSU make that throw and put it right on the money to pick up that first down. And I think that's the big thing that LSU fans want to see is consistency from the quarterback position. There have been moments where you've seen that. There have been other moments where they've been asking for more out of their quarterback. So you had the Burrow moment in 2019 that was historic, one of the best we've ever seen in the sport. But now you want to see throws like this. It'd be a great compliment to that running game. And then you become a complete package and a real threat in the SEC.
LSU is now operating in the red zone. And looking to throw now on first down. Looking to scramble. And it's a throwaway. That's a good call down here in the red zone on first down.
Man, the defense took everything away from him. What do you expect him to do? He can't force the ball into traffic and potentially throw the interception. Does a good job of getting out of the pocket, away from the pressure, and just throw the ball away. See what happens on this next down.
Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. Touchdown, LSU. And they jump on top here in the second half.
Chris, it's a great touchdown run here by this back. But the continuity of this offensive line was on display. And that's the reason he was able to get into the end zone.
They'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. PAT is good. They go for touchdown, 14-7. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. So no return here. He takes a knee in the end zone, and they'll begin the drive at the 25. Misses the receiver, incomplete. At the 25, it's 2nd and 10. Can they make it a 3rd and manageable here? After the incompletion, QB tries it again on 2nd and 10. Pulls it in. It's Brown. And heads out of bounds after a decent gain.
The receiver does all the work here. Man, that is easy living for this quarterback. Really good footwork by the receiver. Gets the separation. And at that point, it's just pitch and catch for the quarterback.
Got to pick up the 3rd and short through the air. Here's a throw underneath to the tight end. He's found some room at the 45. Breaks into the clear right down the middle. End zone ahead. Touchdown, Clemson. There was no catching him that time.
What a well-designed play here by this offense to get the ball to the gifted tight end. Of course, he's got the size, but here he shows you the speed that he has in outrunning the secondary into the end zone for a big touchdown.
Now the all-important extra point. The PAT is up and good, so we're tied up here in the 3rd quarter. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. And it comes out of the 25. No return attempted there. Okay, so here comes the LSU offense back on the field. They were clicking last time. Great protection. The pitch and catch was solid. Right down for a touchdown. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Grab down the middle. It's Cooper. They bring him down after a short gain there.
Just a good job here by the quarterback. Got the ball out to his receiver. His guy eats up some yards, and they stay ahead of the sticks.
That completion makes it 2nd and medium. There's the snap. Quarterback setting up the throw. It's an out. The catch made. And the defense swarms. Not much of a gain on that completion.
The key here, Chris, is the timing by the quarterback. The fact he got the ball out quickly gave his receiver a chance. One more hitch or a slight hesitation, and that's an incompletion or an interception.
Offense needing to keep this drive alive. It's a third down play. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Looking for his big tight end. Over the middle. It's Green. Tackle made after a big play all the way to the 41.
Somebody might want to let the defense know that that big tight end is actually eligible to catch the football. He was completely uncovered in the middle of the field. Quarterback saw it, took the bonus, said, "Thank you, I'll take that first down."
On 1st and 10, looking to throw. It's reeled in. It's Anderson. He fought hard there, broke a tackle, but brought down short of the sticks. That completion makes it second and medium. Looking to throw it again. Caught near the sticks. It's Anderson. Takes a big shot there from the defense, but moves the sticks. First down.
You know, we talked this week with the offensive coordinator about what makes this receiver so special. He kept referring to his route running. Here's an example of that. Great route, enough separation to give the quarterback a nice lane to throw the football.
First down, looking to throw the ball. Quickly. The pickup is 7 yards. Now 2nd and 3. Offense in hurry-up mode. Quarterback changing the play now at the line. They look to throw it here on 2nd down. On the move now. He throws it away. A smart choice that time, but it will bring up 3rd down.
Man, I like this play. And not only is it the right play, throwing it away like that, but given that he had no other option, he just did what he's supposed to do to survive and get ready for this next down.
Here we go, 3rd and short on the 7th play of this drive. Can he get there on the ground? They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1.
Well, it seemed like the offense was trying to throw some kind of misdirection with that run there. But give credit to the defense. They were prepared for anything, and they swallowed that running back up. Nice defensive stand.
So they'll pass up the chip shot field goal attempt and go for it on 4th down. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun. But it's incomplete. A 4th down stop. Turnover on downs.
I really thought that this was going to work out. Showing an aggressive approach here. Going for it on 4th down. Looked to be there. They just weren't able to complete it.
Here's the first play of the drive now. They're backed up at their own 14. They're going to run it. He shreds the tackle. He's past the marker and still going. And the sophomore brought down after an excellent run. And that run is good for 1st down yardage. A new set of downs for this offense. And the same runner's got it again. And they've got him behind the line. It's a tackle for loss to wrap up the 3rd quarter. And so far, we've been treated to a duel of big play wide receivers. These guys have been putting on a show, piling up the highlights through 3 quarters. And let's see how this one unfolds in the final quarter, set to get underway. Here we go, first play of the quarter. Offense setting up for a 2nd down play. To the air, it's Rayner. Short completion of the tight end. Big move finally brought down by the cornerback. That was a tough assignment. And the Tigers toss it to the line to run the hurry up. We're going to throw it on 3rd and very long. Looking deep downfield to the left. It's incomplete. This efficient offense doesn't convert on 3rd down this time.
And I think the quarterback here forces the ball because it's 3rd down. He's got to be careful having the ball on his own side of the field. That ball is almost picked off.
And on 4th down, the punter sends it away. No fair catch. Looking to return this punt. The coverage team able to bring the returner to the ground. And here comes that LSU offense back onto the field. The last possession, they were stopped on a 4th down try. Can they get something going here? Catch made on the left side. Make the stop after a big gain all the way to the 34.
Defense kind of lost the running back here. Makes a nice catch and gets the 1st down in the process.
This line getting set up. It's a 1st down play. Ball handed to the running back. Catch made, but the defense gobbles him up for just a short gain.
You know, in the era that we live in right now, everybody wants to spread the field around, try to create space, try to create one-on-one matchups, and the defense is countered over the years by trying to play out wide. But here's a great example. The defense has the ability to play wide, but still be solid at the line of scrimmage, not give up big run plays.
That's caught. It's buried. Touchdown, LSU. And they take the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Well, that's a well-oiled machine right there. Everyone on this offense has been a star in their roles. And when they're rolling like this, it results in quick and positive results.
Here comes the point after attempt. PAT is up and good. They lead by a touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. Doesn't bring the kick out. Touchback. He'll start at the 25. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. Last drive stalled. They were forced to punt it away. Let's see what they can come up with this time. To throw, it's Rayner. Off target with the throw, incomplete.
That's a misfire there, Chris. This passing game has got to be able to get into sync and find a rhythm.
So 2nd and 10 from the 25. Important to get something here to avoid that tough 3rd and long situation. Oh, that one's picked off. Could take it all the way. Inside the 20. Will not be brought down. Touchdown, Tigers. And the defense joins the scoring party now. And a pick 6. A monster play by this defense here.
That defender showed a lot of athletic ability there with the ball in his hands. I wouldn't be surprised if the head coach watching that thought about maybe giving him some reps as a returner after that touchdown.
Extra point up and good. A 2-touchdown lead here now in the 4th quarter. So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. And here's the return from inside the 5. Stop at the 22. That's pretty solid coverage there.
Clemson offense will take over 1st and 10.
And the powerful Clemson offense is back out there. They have got to bounce back on this possession after going a pick 6 last time out here. They'll go with the ground game here. Running back takes the handoff. Stop at the 43, but that's enough to make a 1st down.
How about setting the edge there on the right side of that offensive line? I wouldn't be surprised if they keep going back to the well, pounding it behind that right guard and right tackle and tight end, seeing what additional damage they can do.
One play, and they're already past the 40. First and 10. Looking for a gap. It's Davidson. Oh, they test the middle there, but get nothing.
Chris, has just really been the story of the game. This defense has completely eliminated this offense's ability to run the football, made them one-dimensional, and that's why they haven't been able to put many points on the board.
Important second down play coming up. Offense moving receivers around now before the snap. Looking to throw. It's Rayner. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. They make the tackle, but that pass creates a solid gain.
Good time here to drop this screen in by the offensive coordinator, and a nice job by the running back being able to pick up some positive yards here on this play.
It's third down for the offense. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Looking for the wideout. And it's picked off. He throws it right in the double coverage and pays for it. And he's wrapped up after a solid return.
Boy, the offense just could not afford to throw this interception. It's already a two-possession game. By throwing this pick, now you wonder how many more opportunities will you get.
And that Bayou Bengals offense is back out on the field. Working clock with the ground game. Picks up the first, looking for more. They get him to the ground, but it's first down now at the 28. First down here for this offense.
Man, just complimentary football, really, in a nutshell. They get this football back thanks to their own defense, creating that turnover, working with the lead like this. Really, it's all but over. Now the offense is just thinking about running the football and working that clock.
First down at 10. And now the handoff. And that's a solid gain before the defense able to bring him down.
Yeah, I like this call here late in the game like this with the lead. Nothing too fancy, just right up the middle. Trust that offensive line and this running back and just keep working that clock.
Second down after that run in the previous play. And they'll run it out of the shotgun. They finally stop him, but a solid play sets him up. First and goal at the 9. And that should secure the victory, and they dodged the upset trap here, Kirk. They came in, handled the pressure of this early season collision, and really set the tone for an outstanding season.
Yeah, they really have. To walk out of here tonight with a big win should give them a ton of confidence going forward. Not to mention, a win like this on a nationally televised stage, it's going to carry a lot of weight as this year progresses.
Defense gets him down, but they'll take the gain on that play. Second down and goal. Trying for the end zone, running it right up the gut. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, LSU.
You know, this head coach and even the players always talk about wanting to play a full 4 quarters. And that's what we're seeing right now. I don't think they're interested in running the score up. I just think they're out there executing the plays called. Right now, they continue to put touchdowns up on the board.
Extra point up and good. A 3-touchdown lead now here in the final quarter. He's got it inside the 15. Gets it to the 29 before being brought down. First play of the drive now coming up from the 29. Looking downfield. It's Rain. throw to the left side. Wow, a third pick tonight by the QB. He could go at the 20. They finally tackle him, but an excellent return after the pick.
I just don't think there's anything else you can do as a play caller. You've got to be able to throw the ball downfield. You just got to hope that your quarterback and receivers can execute when the defense knows it's coming. Here, the interception cost him.
Quick pass. Here comes a jet sweep. End zone ahead. They finally stop him, but that gain is good for a first and goal.
Boy, when you can rip off a huge gain like that on a touch pass, it forces the defense to be more cognizant of the pre-snap motion to the edges. Now the pre-snap motion calls should keep that second-level defenders guessing.
Game is clearly wrapped up, but the offense looking to rub it in here in the final minute. Touchdown, LSU. This offense really clicking.
Coaches love to see a football team that doesn't get caught up in the scoreboard. They're just out executing and doing what needs to be done. That's what we're seeing from this offense. Yeah, they continue to put points on the board and they're pulling away. I just love to see the execution and how they're going about their business.
They'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. The extra point is good, and they stretch the lead a little bit more. Kickoff team out there, they are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. From inside the 15-yard line, bringing it out. They stop him at the 23. That's solid coverage. And they'll start the drive here from the 23-yard line. Scanning the field, it's Rayner. The pocket breaking down. Oh, the pass rush gets home. A sack to end it as the defense punctuates this victory. This was a case of a higher-ranked, respected team that came in here and handled business. Did what we expected them to do, Kirk, but they did it with impressive focus and execution.
Man, you said it. These guys just seem to be on a mission today. They weren't going to let anything get in their way, especially another ranked opponent. This team was motivated from the opening kickoff.
And that is going to do it. We enjoy being here. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.